Oh yeah! Hello everybody, Dustin Starr here, coming to you live from my home in the Mid-South. What an episode 113 was. Come on in everybody, let's talk all about it. Once again, this is the live reaction to Memphis Wrestling, episode 113, week 3 of our 3-week blockbuster spectacular spring break presented by Homer Skelton Ford. What's up, Michael? Hey, Big Dan, how are you? Come on in, everybody. Put your questions in the comments, and let's talk about the best parts of Memphis Wrestling today. Oh my gosh, the way we went off the air gives you goosebumps, chills, might put a little tears in your eyes, especially if you know the young man named Ray Sanders and his family. What an epic moment on Memphis Wrestling today. Just when you think that Ray cannot compete and that he's not there and not cleared somehow, some way, and I'm sure that we're going to hear all about it on Memphis Wrestling coming up. But big congratulations to Ray Sanders, him and his family celebrating as the new Memphis Wrestling Tag Team Champions. Big shout out to Coach Derek King as well. What an episode that was. That was the main event, and that's not even scratching the surface of everything else that happened. Coley, what's up? Says Derek and Ray won the tag team title. Steve G says good show today. Let's see. Brindell says good ending with Ray. Michael says, oh yeah, with a 5-star. What's up, everybody? Patrick liked it. He says good show. Big Dan says how that last match. Wow. Yeah, I know. Just when you think Ray Sanders is not there, Derek's fighting all by himself. And here comes Ray. Coach, trainee, Team WrestleCenter. What a fantastic way to end the show. Coley says, what happened to the world title main event? I don't know what you're talking about. The world title main event, Memphis Heritage Championship is coming up, and I said multiple times that match will happen, but not today. So there was no Heritage Championship main event ever planned. What's up, Robert? How are you? Ben says, what's up, Dustin? Great way to end spring break with the Posse's reign of terror ending. Well, I appreciate it, Ben. You were there live, so I appreciate that as well. And I know you have some questions. Go ahead and put those in the comments, and we'll get them all started up. I'll get you some answers. Michael says, referee to champion, Ray Sanders story. Mark Posey in the house. What's up, Mark? I'm doing good. Hope you had a really good birthday over the week. I sent you a text. I hope you got it. Lurvy says, hello, Dustin. Hello, fans in the chat. Congratulations to Derek and Ray for winning the belts. The posse might be screaming for a rematch. Oh my gosh, what is next for the posse? Just when they think they've got everything planned exactly perfect, took out Ray Sanders, we're going to take out Derek King 2-on-1, only to find out that Ray Sanders was somehow waiting in the wings and captured the tag team titles. Patrick says, hey, I don't know if you can, but could you book Jonathan Gresham versus Tim Bosby in a Ring of Honor Pure Rules match? I've already texted Jonathan Gresham about it. Coley says, last Tuesday was tax day. Don't remind me, Coley. Brindell says, I like Ray Splash. Oh my gosh. Just flying through the air. Boom. It was really cool. Really good stuff. Willie says the posse went down like that cruise ship, the Titanic. Whoa. Willie says Cassandra Golden should get her revenge. Well, stay tuned because that is definitely coming up. I know we saw the highlights today of Nyx winning the Memphis Wrestling Women's Championship alongside Ellsworth Enterprises, and that is on good authority that James Ellsworth is making his return to Memphis Wrestling Television very soon, maybe as early as next week. So stay tuned for the lineup. Ben says, I've wanted to ask you, what's your take on WWE being bought by the Endeavor Group, the company that owns UFC? I think it is a match made in heaven. We talk about this on the Grind City Wrestling podcast. You guys can go check it out. It's a Memphis Grizzlies owned podcast, but it's about wrestling. I host it alongside Eric McMahon and Devin Walker, and we talk all about it. It's grindcitymedia.com/podcast. But man, are you talking about like the perfect tag team? UFC and WWE pairing up pretty much with Endeavor Group buying them. I think it's awesome. I think you're going to see a lot more of that crossover that we've grown accustomed to with, you know, the Bobby Lashleys, the Brock Lesnars, the Ronda Rouseys. I mean, gosh, there's so many major stars in MMA towards the end of their career where they can't actively compete like they used to, go right over to WWE and take that popularity there. I think that is a huge partnership, and it's like a match made in heaven, just to be perfectly honest with you, Ben. Really, really good stuff. Let's see. Jordan, bye-bye posse. So happy for the new tag team champions. Michael, by the way, hopefully we don't see Vader in the chat anymore. No, I think we got rid of him. Great minds think alike, says Patrick. Championship Wrestling from Jeremy. I like the new name. He says, great show as always, Dustin. Thank you so much. All right, Mark, I hope you had a good birthday. Did you eat a bunch of cake? Ray did it for Santa. He did it for the people, is what Bo says. What got into Nick's? Ooh, greed? The desire to be the best no matter what it takes? I don't know, but we're going to hear from Nick's very soon, I'll tell you that. Championship Wrestling from Jeremy, I appreciate that. It says Grind City Podcast is a great listen. Jordan said, Dustin Starr is my favorite wrestling commentator, hands down. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that, Jordan. Doing my best. I'm probably not everybody's cup of tea. Larry says, I believe UFC is better on its own rather than join WWE. I don't like the partnership. Sorry, folks. They're not necessarily joining. They probably won't even be branded or partnered or advertised together, I don't think. But I do know that they're both owned by the same company, and I think that that is a very strong partnership because there's so much crossover in the audiences anyway. Willie says, Dustin, did you attend the NBA game, Memphis Grizzlies versus LA Lakers? I host every single Memphis Grizzlies home game, so yes, I was there, and it was so loud. I'll tell you a quick story. I've got these custom IFBs that fit perfectly in my ear. They're custom made just for my ear, so I can get my cues on when to go. Dustin, 3, 2, 1. I couldn't hear. I was down on the court. This thing is in my ear. I could not hear anything. It was so loud at FedEx Forum, so it was awesome. Yes, Willie, I have been there, and I cannot wait for Game 5 coming up next week. Brad Stinkerhorn. Big Dustin, I'm sick of mid-card Mikey. I took his mustache. I took his jacket. Next, I'm going to take his hair. Hair versus hair. Uncle Mikey versus Main Event Bradley will happen on Memphis Wrestling, and it's going to happen next week. Unbelievable. Robert says, Dustin, how do you feel about CM Punk returning to the AEW? Well, I think if you're going to sell 90,000 tickets at Wembley Stadium, you're probably going to need CM Punk. That is for sure. And I think that he's going to help him sell a lot of tickets, as well as selling out Chicago once again. And I hear he's returning in June. What do I think about it? Doesn't really matter. They're going to make a ton of money. I'm here for that. Ben says, what do you think about Andy Kaufman being inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame? I'm a little bit split about it. I think there are so many other wrestling managers and characters that have done much, much more than Andy Kaufman. And I think the timing to put Andy Kaufman in was perfect, with Jerry Lawler making that first television appearance back from his stroke on the Hall of Fame. So I think it was perfect timing. All the stars aligned just perfectly, with Lawler surviving the stroke and all that good stuff. And I do think it is deserving, but I think maybe deserving in like the celebrity wing or something along those lines, because he was in the business less than a year, Andy Kaufman, or right about a year. It was definitely under 2 years that he was even in the wrestling business. Great show, says Rob. I love DK and Ray Ray's win, just when you think it's over. Willie says CM Punk is all hype, no wrestling abilities. Well, I think we're going to find out. Rob says Ray and DK need a cool team name. Team WrestleCenter, that's not good enough. Stars of Tomorrow. Championship Wrestling from Jeremy, I love it. I'm going to steal it. We've got a lame eventer in the chat. Lame Event Bradley. Well, maybe pretty soon we'll be calling him Main Event Baldy, unless he can pull off a victory and finish shaving Uncle Mikey's face, not just his mustache, but this hair up here at the top too. Lurby says, cheers to Patrick Moore. He got his wish. Derby City Wrestling has joined the UWN. Yes, you can watch Derby City Wrestling every Sunday right here on this YouTube channel at 1 p.m. Central. And of course, at noon Central is Championship Wrestling presented by CarShield. You do not want to miss those. They're very good. Rob says, looking forward to Barrel Bottom Brad losing his hair next week. I can't wait. It's going to look like a cue ball. Michael says, Brad Skimmerhorn, one of these days you're going to regret everything you did to your uncle. Jordan says, I do not believe my hero, the Gun Show. You think the Gun Show did the Gun Show lariat on purpose to K Toomer? Let's talk about that fight. So the Gun Show comes out and literally apologizes and admits fault to K Toomer. K Toomer takes that opportunity to turn around, and I mean, these guys went at it. It took almost the whole locker room to pull these two apart. So Gun Show versus K Toomer, one-on-one, the rematch for the Memphis Heritage Championship. is coming soon. I believe, if my memory serves me correct, that match will happen in 3 short weeks. Patrick says, have you seen a Pure Rules match? If not, I can send you some. Yes, I have, absolutely. Z says, can you believe Hollywood Jimmy had a talent like Ray Ray under his control, made him a referee, and treated him so poorly? Yes, I can believe that, Z. That's pretty much par for the course with Hollywood Jimmy. Lurvy says, speedy recovery to Mads Kruger. Love to see him in Memphis Wrestling, perhaps challenge for the Memphis Heritage Championship belt. Lurvy, yeah, he had shoulder surgery, but he should be back very soon. We've been in contact with him. Mads Kruger, a.k.a. Cruel, is what he's going by now, is definitely one of our favorites here in Memphis, despite all the craziness that comes along with him. Keith says, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, your new Memphis Wrestling Tag Team Champions are Ray Sanders and Derek, by God, greater than Great King. That's right. Brendale says, the Boogeyman versus Hornswoggle. I would love to book that match. Rob says, of course, Ash Hole had to interfere. That's the righteous path. You guys will hear Memphis Wrestling. They're not chanting anything bad. They're chanting Ash Hole. Reverend Ash Taylor, Ash Hole. Yeah, anyways, you guys get it. Larry says, better make room for Tommy Dreamer and PCO. If they do come to the WrestleCenter for their hardcore match, they will be all over the building. Yes, on Sunday, May the 7th, PCO is Not Human is coming to Memphis Wrestling along with the innovator of violence, Tommy Dreamer. I don't know if they're going one-on-one. I have no idea what to expect, and neither do you. So get those tickets at championshipwrestlingmemphis.com. Ringside are almost sold out already, and we still have several weeks before this event. Sunday, May the 7th, for the first time ever, PCO and Tommy Dreamer will be in Memphis Wrestling. Now, 1 week from today, that's next Saturday, April the 29th, we are live in Strayhorn, Mississippi at the Strayhorn High School, benefiting the Strayhorn Band Boosters. Live Memphis Wrestling, tag teaming with a local high school to raise funds for the band. That is just tremendous. We're looking for a huge night of action out there next Saturday. And then also we're going to have some footage. If you guys have not subscribed to MemphisWrestlingPlus.com, go there and do it as soon as this live reaction is done. I promise you, you'll get sneak peeks of behind the scenes stuff that's never been seen before. Did you know that there is actually, I can't even say that. I don't even want to say it because it's on MemphisWrestlingPlus.com. Go check it out. Jordan, I believe my hero, the Gun Show, is innocent of any wrongdoing toward K. Toomer. Okay, I'm with you on that. Whoops, what did I do here? I'm with you on that. I believe the Gun Show as well. Let's see, let me find where I was. Austin Crafton, great show. Dustin, much success. Thank you so much, Austin. I appreciate it. Don't remember seeing that name in the chat before, so thanks for stopping by. Steve G says, Dustin, is Dice City Wrestling tomorrow? Derby City Wrestling is tomorrow, yes. Rob says TWC for short would work. Willie says, absolutely correct, Lurvy. All right, so let me get caught up. Get your Memphis Wrestling merch right now. Yes, thank you, Lamb. 15% off at ProWrestlingTees.com/Memphis Wrestling, or you can go to ChampionshipDrip.com. We have brand new t-shirts there, all sorts of different colors and logos and things like that. So go check it out, ProWrestlingTees.com/Memphis Wrestling, or you can simply go to ChampionshipDrip.com. Derek says, great show this week, 5-star. Congrats to Ray Ray and Derek King. Rob says PCO is an animal, and he is not wrong. Lurvy said, it's tomorrow. Check out Derby City Wrestling. Yes, so on Sunday, that's tomorrow at noon, it's Championship Wrestling presented by CarShield. And then at 1 p.m. immediately following, completing a 2-hour block, is the all-new Derby City Wrestling. You guys are going to love it. Baldy Bradley. Bradley Baldy? Ronald says, happy Earth Day. There's a 15% off Earth Day sale right now with Pro Wrestling Tees. Steve G says he thinks Gun Show did it on purpose. Z says, I don't trust the Gun Show. A lot of coincidences happening around him lately since K. Toomer challenged him. Keith says, Ray and King are new tag champs. Oh, you didn't know? Tommy Dreamer versus Aaron Roberts, says Willie. I think Aaron Roberts is going to have his hands full with Mike Anthony. If you think that thing is over with, whew, I know Aaron Roberts and Justin Case have been raising all kinds of hell all week long, and they weren't on the show today. I would expect to see them next week. Michael says, I still say Gun Show turns heel. Why isn't he introduced as Bret Michaels anymore? because he's introduced as the Gun Show. You picked up on that. Has nothing to do if he's a good guy or a bad guy. It has everything to do with boom. All right, let me get caught up here. Boz versus Gresham would sell out the arena. I hope you're right. It needs to. Ben says, do you have a favorite PCO moment? Oh my gosh, there was a time where he was electrocuted inside the center of the ring and came back alive. There's all sorts of flips off of top ropes to like exposed wood and all kinds. Yeah, I've lumped them all together. Just the highlight reel of PCO. Just his image being at Memphis Wrestling. I can't wait to see it. And I won't lie to you. I'm a little bit nervous about it. Championship Wrestling from Jeremy says, I was very happy to see Memphis talent pop up on WWE this week. That's right. You guys mentioned it in the live chat. WWE Monday Night Raw was in Little Rock. You had Van Vicious, Tim Bosby, Colton Cage, Mr. Chris. Gosh, the list goes on and on. There were several from our seminar with Gabe Sapolsky that ended up getting booked there as well. Nix, Mackenzie Morgan, they were all in the house. Big thank you to WWE for all the hospitality. They're going to be here August the 28th. We have a pre-party at Ghost River that's absolutely free, and I would keep my eyes peeled because you never know who might show up on WWE when they're around Memphis Wrestling. Oh, yeah. And if you want more information on that, go to that Grind City Wrestling podcast. It's grindcitymedia.com/podcast. The title of this week's podcast is Memphis Wrestling Raw. So go check that out. It was in Little Rock, and Memphis Wrestling was all over it. So big shout out to them. Congratulations. Jeremy, thank you for bringing that up. Lurvy says, love the theme song the fans made for Ash Taylor. It had a nice rhythm to it, yeah. Keith says maybe Raven will make an appearance with Dreamer at PCO. We have been in talks with Raven. Rob says, like always, why hasn't Toomer watched the replay? I guess that would spoil the rematch. Well, you know, I'm sure that Toomer did see the replay, but still, either way you go, he feels like Gun Show shouldn't have been in the ring anyway. And if Gun Show had stayed put like he was supposed to, he would have never hit K Toomer and cost him that match. So I do see both ways, but I do see that it was an accident. Remember, Brad lost to Tommy Dreamer, and Brad, you can dig that sucker. Thanks for that, Brindale. Patrick says, I thought Tommy Dreamer took off from his mom. If you guys saw that on a wrestling television show, then okay, but he will be in Memphis, Tennessee. There is no cancellation. Tommy Dreamer and PCO will be in Memphis Wrestling on May 7th. Don't start any rumors. He will be here live. Flights already purchased. Hotels already purchased. It's all done. Tommy Dreamer will be here. Rob says, I'd like to see PCO and Tommy Dreamer versus the Possums. Are you trying to get me in trouble? Are you trying to get me into this big insurance situation? Because they would tear the building apart. Big Dan says, I want to see Tommy Dreamer versus Aaron Roberts, and me in Tommy's corner. I need payback. You had your chance at payback, Big Dan. You need to stay put before you get hurt. Again. He's going to be mad at me. Bring a billy club, Big Dan. Bring a billy club. You might need it. Brendale says, remember Brad lost to Tommy Dreamer. Okay, I already saw that one. Austin Crafton, hello, Dustin. Will Killer Bay, Heather Monroe ever come back? Yes, she was just in Memphis last month at our Memphis Tigers event. So that is actually available on MemphisWrestlingPlus.com. So go check that out. She was in the ring with Nix, Mackenzie Morgan, DDT. Very, very good stuff. MemphisWrestlingPlus.com has content that you will not see here and you will not see anywhere else unless you're there live. Derek says, any plans for some Derby City stars in Memphis like champions? No plans as of yet. Bo says, it's nice to see Tommy Dreamer already back for another guest appearance. Here's to even more from him. PCO is another great get. I totally agree. I cannot wait for it, but I am nervous about it. Teddy says, why did the goddess join with Ellsworth? I'm not sure. Stay tuned and hopefully we'll find out. I'm waiting just like you guys are. Keith says, last time I saw Rocco Bellagio was at OVW in 2016. He's the longest reigning OVW champion in history. He's on Derby City Wrestling now. Willie says Cassandra Golden versus Diana Perazzi would be a great match. Yes. Ben says, what do you think about Rey Mysterio bringing back the LWO? Not a fan of it. I thought the LWO was a big parody gimmick in the first place. So I don't know why you would bring a comedy gimmick back and put it with Rey Mysterio. To me, that makes no sense. But I'm a huge Rey Mysterio fan. Michael says, where's the winner of the Cobra Cup? Ben Bishop been? I don't know, but good point. Stay tuned, Michael. Keith says, chaos in that brawl between Toomer and Gun Show. Robert says, AEW Rampage is tonight at 10. That is correct. Jordan says, boom. That's right, Dustin. All right, trying to get caught up. Dane says somebody's a cutie. Jason Dennis says, gig day, bro. I don't know what that means. But I do have a big gala that I'm going to host tonight for Regional One Health. It's Regional Health's one night, and it's tonight, and I'm hosting it. It is going to be awesome. Austin Kraft and Dustin, will the Crowleys ever come back? No, they will not. Dane says, the king of Memphis hair. I'll take it. Oh, yeah. Larry says, Brett Michaels versus K. Toomer. May the best man win. Whoever has the belt, there will be contenders for the belt. Who knows? Perhaps make their way to Memphis Wrestling to challenge for the belt. That's right, Larry. It's going to be one-on-one. Dane says also hashtag DCW and hashtag UWN forever. I love it. Bo says PCO showing his messed up shoulder on camera during Impact after he got thrown into the steel steps by Brian Myers. I think it's still a gnarly visual. Anything that involves PCO is usually a gnarly visual. Lurvy says, I don't understand why the NWA doesn't put together a better studio show like you do with yours, Dustin. They're supposed to be a world-class wrestling company. Maybe they just need a little bit of help. I haven't watched the NWA program in just a couple of weeks, but I am a fan of it. I do like the way that our show flows better. I feel like that our storylines are always on par and they always continue. I feel like that the shows always have some sort of story arc that starts in the beginning and ends in the end, perhaps with a surprise in the middle, like today's episode, for instance. The Posse come out, they make this devastating challenge that we know Ray Ray's not there or in the building. Then the story arcs to where, boom, we're at the end, main event time, DK's doing it by himself, big surprise, boom, bam, boom. So from beginning to end, we're telling that story, and I think that NWA probably just needs to tell some stories a little bit better. But we're not inside their locker room, so we don't know exactly what they're doing and what they're not doing. Michael says, stay alive, Big Dan. I want to treat you to coffee. Keith says, when we see Blaylock get what he deserves from Colton Cage, man, that match, I believe, is coming up very, very soon. It might be in 2 weeks is when that one does. Again, I don't have the format sheets in front of me, but that match is scheduled. Colton Cage issued a challenge to Van Vicious that if Colton wins, he gets a one-on-one match with Jimmy Blaylock, and I can't wait for that. You know that Jimmy Blaylock and Van Vicious will have something up their sleeve here. You know that, right? Jordan says, who will challenge the Boz next? What do you think? I see Austin Lane turning heel. Well, we've seen a little bit more aggression from Austin Lane, that's for sure. So Austin Lane, oh man, who's next for the Boz? Who wrestles the Boz for the Internet Championship? He is going through the Memphis Wrestling roster right now like a hot knife through butter. Patrick says, is Jack Tolo still available in UWN? Maybe you can bring him versus Ben Bishop. I'm not really familiar with Jack just yet. Derek says, I think Derby City Invasion down the road would be big. Memphis versus Derby City. I think Derby City needs to get a little bit older first. Also, this is Dane from DCW. I do all the video and social commercials, etc. Awesome. Okay, Dane. Well, good to meet you. You guys all tune in to see what Dane does coming up tomorrow at 1 p.m. Central Time. So very cool. Thanks for sharing that, Dane. Good to meet you on here. Keith says, congratulations in order still for the new tag team champions. That's what Keith says. Key Justice was finally delivered in the main event. He's been showing up NWA with Daisy Kill, so looks like Jack Tolos is in the NWA now. Willie says, I agree, Derek. Derby City invades Memphis. I think Derby City needs to get a little older first, make sure that they're going to be around long enough to take that butt whooping from Memphis Wrestling. Big Dan says he goes back to happily providing security. I love Memphis's continuity. Rarely do you ever get thrown together like WWE. Well, we do our best not to throw anything together. Austin says, Dustin, where's Martin? He deserves much more TV time. I'm really surprised how good of a wrestler he truly is. Martin will not return to Memphis Wrestling. Championship Wrestling from Jeremy. Okay. Colton versus Boz. Ooh, that could be a good matchup. Colton Cage, when he's done with Van Vicious, going after the Internet Championship. I like it. First match, Dustin Starr versus Dave Marquez. Steve says Austin and Gun Show both heels now. I don't think either one of those is true. We've seen a little bit more of aggression from Austin Lane, but I don't know that he's heel. And Gun Show came out and apologized on TV today. How does that make him a bad guy? Teddy says, what Doug Gilbert doing now? I have no idea. That's a blast from the past. Who cares? Lurvy says, I'm curious who else will Barnabas bring into the circus? An evil clown tag team? I don't know if Pokerface and Rude are available. Acrobats, freaks. I know Maurice the Strong is the first to join the maniacal ringmaster himself. Well, you'll just have to stay tuned and see who steps right up. I honestly don't like how silent Ben Bishop is lately. He still has the Cobra Cup, another potential big bump on Toomer, and Gun Show's Road, I feel, says Bo. I agree, man. Big Trouble Ben Bishop has a title opportunity anytime, any place. We just haven't seen him here lately. Jordan says UCW and all three benches got to make the weekend. Ben says, what do you think about the Showboats first game? I was at the game and it was fun. I thought it was very cool. The marketing on the Showboats is really good. Skipper, the new mascot, I met him. We're buddies now. And I saw where they had the stadium half full out there, which it's a 65,000 seater. So, I mean, to have it half full, it's pretty good. So shout out to the Showboats. I've been working with them a little bit at the Memphis Grizzlies games too. Keith says, Memphis versus Derby City Wrestling. Anyone? Clowns belongs in the circus or WWE, says Willie. Oh, Steve says maybe the Posse would join. Wow. I can't wait to see what's next from the Posse because they got handled today for the first time in a long time. Lurvy says, I believe there was 5-star wrestling promotion in the Deep South in the 90s. It didn't last. Thank you for calling it Memphis Wrestling instead. James Storm used my, apologize, sorry about your damn luck. Austin says, Dustin, I'm very proud of you and your team. Much more success. It shows. I really appreciate it. Thank you, guys. I got just a couple of more minutes here. We've got a big birthday party. My nephew's birthday parties today. We have a huge bouncy house in the backyard. So we're going to do a little bit of celebration here on this happy Saturday, beautiful Saturday in Memphis, Tennessee. And then I'm going to get all suited up and head out to the Renaissance Convention Center for Regional One Health's one night. The one gala is going to be so much fun. I cannot wait. I can't wait to see what's on the menu. But then also, I'm going to be on stage introducing the Spinners, the Jacksons, and the CNC Music Factory. How cool is that? Lurvy, I will tell him happy birthday. I appreciate it. Steve, you have a good one as well. Derek, maybe one day you could book Kylan King versus Cassandra Golden or Nix. That could absolutely happen. Thank you, Jeremy. I appreciate it. Yes, Big Dan, you're right. Thanks to all the fans. If you guys missed today's episode, it is already available in full right now, absolutely free on this YouTube channel. Also, rolling into Memphis Podcast. It gives you all the recaps and highlights and all that good stuff. Check that out. It releases on this YouTube channel as well. And then all the matches and segments will be stripped out and posted in their entirety right here for you in the playlist. So you can watch the full hour, you can watch whatever matches you want, you can watch anything you want, anytime you want. So go check it out. It's all available, and Big Dan's right. We are Memphis Wrestling. Oh, yeah. Get caught up here. Spinners came from my neighborhood. Spinners are awesome. Greatest professional wrestling hour ever. Thank you, Keith. There were no misses today, I'll tell you that. Thank you, Ben. I appreciate that. Rob, Memphis being the best. I appreciate it. Looking forward to episode 114. Me too. Bo says 220 plus viewers watching today. Love to see it. I think we had 230 at one point. So it's definitely growing. I really appreciate it. And that's a big testament to you guys. You know, we're here working hard each and every week. Literally 24 hours a day, 7 days a week working to try to make these shows the best that we possibly can. So I really appreciate that you guys enjoy it. Willie says, keep up the good work, Dustin. Keith says, I'm actually watching Derek King in Memphis in 2006. Yeah, there's a little bit of difference of DK of 2006 and 2023. But 2023, he is the brand new Memphis Wrestling Tag Team Champion along with Ray Sanders. Larry says, Memphis Wrestling is my dose of independent wrestling for the week. Well, we appreciate you picking us. That's all the time I have right now. I want to thank you guys for joining me. I will be here next Saturday. Live, probably from Strayhorn, Mississippi. Derek, I would love to see way more than that. Strayhorn, Mississippi is 1 week from today, 5:30 doors, 6 p.m. VIP meet and greet, 7 o'clock bell time. The proceeds benefit the Strayhorn Band Boosters. The band is going to be there performing live. The gun show will be in the house. The internet champion Tim Bosby, and it's been signed. Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time since winning the Memphis Wrestling Women's Championship, the Goddess of the Night, Nyx, next weekend on Saturday in Strayhorn. She's going one-on-one against her former best friend, Mackenzie Morgan. So if you are in the area, you want to get your tickets in advance, championshipwrestlingmemphis.com. Keith says, when is your next match, Dustin? I don't have a next match coming up. Ben says, see you next time. Have a great week. Also, after next Saturday, the following Saturday, or following Friday, May the 5th, Cinco de Mayo, we are live in Atwood, Tennessee, and it is going to be awesome. West Carroll High School, the West Carroll football team, the War Eagles, we're going out there to raise money for them. It is a huge fundraiser. Then on May 7th, Tommy Dreamer and PCO come to Memphis Wrestling. Those tickets are available right now, all at championshipwrestlingmemphis.com, and we have more big announcements coming. You're going to see a big partnership coming up where we're raising funds for St. Jude. We're going to be back in Ingomar. We're going to be at AutoZone Park at the baseball field with the Redbirds. There's so much awesome stuff coming up. Just stay tuned right here on this YouTube channel and also championshipwrestlingmemphis.com. And last comment of the day, Championship Wrestling from Jeremy, which, by the way, just did an interview with Jeremy on his podcast, and it was a lot of fun, so I really appreciate that, Jeremy. You guys go check it out. He says, see most of tomorrow for Championship Wrestling presented by CarShield and Derby City Wrestling. See the rest next week. Memphis Wrestling. Have a great week, everybody. That's from Jeremy, and I'm saying the same thing. I am Dustin Starr. So long, everybody. Oh, yeah.